we discussed about the prerequisites about what is HANA. First of all, we discussed about what is HANA. HANA is a in-memory, column-oriented, columnar database. That's what we discussed. Okay, compared to the traditional databases. Traditional databases means what databases will come under the traditional databases? Anybody? Any idea?
SQL, DB2.
Yeah, SQL, DB2,
Base.
Sybase, all the things are comes under the traditional databases. So HANA is one of the in-memory, first in-memory database. It's a column-oriented, columnar in-memory database here. Here we need to do the all kind of activities here, right? So here we have the HANA versions we discussed after that. What is the latest version of the HANA? HANA 2.0, SPS 08 is the latest version. Before that 07, 06, and also we have the HANA 1.0, right? And HANA 2.0 also available. What is the difference? This is a single container. HANA 2 means multi container. That is the major difference here. Here, this is a standalone database. This is the standalone database here, right? Here, this is a standalone database. And this is the HANA 2.0 is the multi-container, which means one system DB by default you will get the system DB and tenant DB here. System DB and tenant DB here. Okay. So the tenant DB is the main here. But here we don't have any concept in the 1.0 system DB, tenant DB concept here. Okay. So here we have the detailed system DB and tenant DB concept here. In system DB, we have the option, right? System DB, we have the option called read. So managing the tenants, creation of the tenant here. So in the HANA 1.0, we have the option. HANA 2.0, we have the option here, right? So that's what we discussed, the differences between the HANA 1.0 and 2.0. Simple example, apartment concept, independent house concept here, right? That is what we discussed here. Suppose example, let me recap what we discussed here. So HANA 1.0 is the independent house concept, which means in one place, maybe in 200 square yards, if you build the 200 square yard means one HANA, one host, one Linux host. If you build the one HANA system here, only one HANA standalone database will come here, HANA 1.0 here, right? So here you can get the standalone database here. Here you will get the HANA related services and everything here. HANA related services and everything here, right? Which means only one family, only one resource, HANA related process will use the entire 200 square yards here. Only one family can stay, right? In the independent house concept, only one family can stay, right? But if you do the apartment concept, what will happen? In the same 200 square yards, if you build the apartment, means ground floor, first floor, second floor, third floor, like that, what will happen, right? Multiple families can stay in the single, but these multiple families will use the same 200 square yards, same resources, same things will use, right? So that's the main important thing here, right? Ground system DB and tenant DB, ground floor and first floor here. That is the main important thing here. Okay, that is the one of the important thing about the system DB, tenant DB, and HANA 1.0, 2.0, the latest versions. And we discussed about the HANA installation steps. That is the last class we discussed about the HANA installation steps here. HANA installation steps. So we used the HDB LCM tools, HANA database lifecycle management tools here. So using these tools, we can do the HANA installation here. So Linux level. So we need to download the softwares. Then we can log into the Linux Putty. Through Putty, we can log into the HANA, right? We can log into the Linux. These details I shared it. Again, whoever the new, again, I will share all the details. So you can log into the Linux system. So Linux system, it's a command prompt based, right? So you need to use the Putty is the software to connect to the Linux system, Linux operating system here. Okay. Then, so here we have the softwares in the CD/media. So there are the commands we discussed, CD, ls, right? So free-g folder creation, file creation. That is also you can practice it, right? So whoever new, just you can connect to the one of met in the class, they can explain you the some commands. Maybe someone can help you to getting the commands and to connect to the Linux operating systems, right? So installation of the HANA DB and everything here, right? This is the HANA folder where we have the version. HANA version is there. You can connect to the here. Then you can do the installation using the HDB LCM tools. So this is what we will call it as the HDB LCM tools here. So we can do the installation, these files, either GUI level installation, browser level installation, or command prompt mode. Recommended to use the command prompt mode here. This one is for the uninstallation. This one is for the upgrading the HANA system from one version to another version here. That is the main important thing here. Then you can use the HDB LCM tools. Then click on the OK button. Then you can, so what database you are going to install it here? HANA database 2.00 SP08. 80 means SPS SP08. HANA 2.0 SP8. Okay. So that is the one you are going to install it here. Then you can proceed with the, so install, right? So install, update, components, like that. You can start with the server. Right? So here we have the signature file issue. Then you can ignore, you can just ignore the signature file, ignore, ignore the check underscore signature file. There is a signature file that you can check underscore signature underscore file. Then click on the next, install, right? So then server you are going to, on our database server you are going to install it, then server. Right? So the installation path, common, host name. The good thing is here, system will ask the question and answer also will be displayed here. So just click on the enter. System will ask the question, the answer also in the bracket. So it is correct, just click on the enter button. This is the correct, click on the enter button. But SID, you can use the new SID. You can use the instance number. Instance number is 00 to 99. Any number you can give it here, right? So then, so you can proceed with the remaining steps all under the common. So data volume path, log volume path, encryption, yes. So remaining path and all the very common here. But only thing is the SID, instance number, and the passwords we have to give it manually. And so remaining and all the, so common path here. So system user, right? System user details you have to give it here. Then so no, and yes. Then your installation will be continued here. Installation will be continued here. So this is the review option summary before you execute here. It will take 15 to 20 minutes to complete the installation here. So once the HANA is installed, then what is the next step here, right? We have the HANA DB, which we installed on the last class, that is called the HDB ADM. So right, HDB instance number 00. This is the HANA. As soon as HANA is installed, you will see the HANA list of family members. You see all the family members. You see the HANA related family members we can see, right? So there are the 7 core process you will get. 7 core process you will get from the HANA side. One is the daemon, name server, compile server, preprocessor, index server, access engine, web dispatcher here. These are the 7 core process here. So then to do the administration part of the HANA database after the installation, you need to use the HANA Studio. HANA Studio is the monitoring tool which we have to be installed on our local desktop. How we can use the SAP login pad to connect to the, so SAP systems here. Here we will use the HANA Studio. Then once you add the HANA systems here, then you can open, you can connect to the system DB. Then, so in case if you have not added, it won't show. You need to add it, like go to the add system, then go to the host name, instance number, whatever the host name you have, APS4 HANA, whatever the instance number you have, 00, right? Then multi-container, it's not the 1.0, it's a 2.0 multi-container. Then add the system DB first, then provide the system and password user, then password. Then your system will be added to the in this folder here like this. Then similarly, you can add the identity DB also here. Provide the APS for HANA, right? Instance number, multi-container, target database, right? Then next, system username is the system, password is the password. Then click on the next button here. That is the main important thing here. Then your tenant also will be added here. Your tenant also will be added. Then you need to log in here, right? Then you can open here like this. You have to connect to your databases here. Then right click, open the administration page. So here also right click, okay, open the administration page here. Okay, then you open the system DB and tenant DB here. You open the all the details and everything here, right? System DB and tenant DB here. That is the main important stuff here. Okay, so like that we this up to here we discussed how to add the systems to the HANA Studio, right? So installation that we discussed, right? So what are the tools? What are the tools? HDB, LCM tools. Then how to install it. Once you install done, same as like SAP HANA also we have to provide the SID instance number. We have to provide it. But HANA can be installed only on the Linux operating system, not the Windows operating systems. But Studio we have to use to do the monitoring of the to connect to the HANA system, do the administration tasks of the HANA databases. We can use the HANA Studio. We have to use it here. So up to here in the last two classes we discussed it here. Okay. So now once you HANA installation is done, maybe you can still practice it. So then what we have to do it after that, right? HANA installation is done. So then you need to add the systems to the studio for the monitoring and administration work. Okay, monitoring and administration work, you can do it here. Then you can add the systems to the studio here, right? So then you can open the administration console. This is the administration console here. So in the first tab, it is called the overview tab. In the overview tab, we can see the whether all the services are started or not, what type of system you selected, when was the last restart happened, right? What is the version of the HANA database, HANA to SP08. Then what is the platform, right? Where the HANA means operating system details, then Linux details and hardware manufacturing details, and HANA memory status here, used memory status, resident memory status, CPU usage, and disk usage. We can see all the details here. All the details we can see here, all the information, right? So this will come detailed way I will discuss. So, but you can see the memory status areas and everything. This will keep on updating here. You can see the CPU utilization, memory utilization keep on updating based upon the usage. So based upon the backend activity, the dashboards, these reports will be keep on updating here. Okay. So this is where we can see the all the information here, right? So next tab, landscape tab here. Tomorrow someone asks you what is the your HANA version means. You will come to know what is the OS version means. This is the one. So what is the status of the memory means? This is the one. What is the status of the data value means? This is the one. Log value, shared value, CPU utilization, memory utilization. So all the information you can see the in one place. All the information you see in one place here. Okay, that is the main important thing here. Then you can go to the landscape tab here. Okay, in the landscape tab, right? So landscape information means your process related information. HANA database installation is like a one brand new house. So inside of the house, how the family members will stay, same as like in HANA also, HANA family members will stay. Suppose like here we have the HANA name server, right? Same we have the father, mother, how we have HANA name server, right? Preprocessor. So how we have the HANA process here. So similarly here we have the HANA process here, right? Index server, name server, the preprocessor, right? So we have the calculation, compile server, We have the web dispatcher, web dispatcher. We have the access engine. We have the daemon. So this is one of the compulsory question as part of the interview. So how many work HANA process we have here, right? So tell me the index server, name server, preprocessor, compile server, web dispatcher, access, and daemon related details and everything here, right? So this will be the here. So then you can see compile server, daemon, name server, preprocessor, and web dispatcher, right? SAP start SRV is the service process. It's not the process actually. It's a just a common service for every SAP system here, right? That's why this does not have any process ID, any timestamp or nothing. Just it's a service. Okay, this is the process here. Okay, these all are the process. Each process it's active or not. What is the port number? What is the start name? What is the CPU? What is the memory? And what are the details, memory details, and all the details you have here. All the details we have, all the information here we have. Okay, all the details we have here, right? So here same as like in the tenant also, we have the same concept here. Sir, you mentioned like 7, but I can see only 5. Where are the other 2? Where are the other 2 here? Sir, you mentioned like 7 core process, but we have the 2 databases in the HANA 2.0. HANA 2.0, we have the one system DB, then one tenant DB you have mentioned, one system DB, one tenant DB you have mentioned here, one SDB, one system DB, one ground floor, one tenant DB, one is the first floor here, right? Then here which process will be in the system DB ground floor, which process in the tenant DB here, right? So index server will be in the tenant database, then access engine will be in the here. Both are in the tenant. Each tenant you will get the one system DB, one tenant DB. Then name server will be here. The preprocessor will be here, right? Then compile server will be here. Then web dispatcher will be here. Then daemon will be in the here, right? Which means 5 plus 2. 5 plus 2 here, right? 5 process in the system DB, then remaining 2 process in the tenant databases here, right? 5 plus 2 here. So here, so every tenant we have the 2 main process here. One is the index server, access engine. So tomorrow, if there is a requirement to create the one more tenant database, then you can create the one more tenant database. You can create the one more tenant database like that. This is the one of the advantage, right? In the apartment concept, initially the builder will build the G plus 1. Then after that, when he has the budget or everything, then go to the plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, 5, 5, up to we can go. There is a limit area, it depends upon the area, you will go that limitation. But here also, by default, you will get the G plus 1. Then plus 2, plus 3, how many you can go means up to 19 tenants, 19 tenant databases you can use it here, except default one. So plus 1 default tenant DB and plus 1 system DB here, right? Which means in one host, in one operating system, one system database, one default tenant database, and so 19 up to 19 floors, 19 tenant databases we can add it here. 19 databases we can add it here. 19 databases we can add it to the here. That is the main important thing here, right? So that is the main important thing here, right? So that is the one of the important thing, here. 19 tenant databases, one system DB, one tenant DB. This is the limitations here, right? So one system DB, one tenant by default, you will get it out. Same way you got it, and same way you added the one system DB, one tenant databases you created here, right? That is the main important thing. So here in the tenant DB, you see index server and access engine along with the your system DB process also here. In the display screen, it is show like this will come from the system DB as well as the tenant database also here. But here also it is showing the in the system DB also it is showing the only 5. In the tenant it is showing the 7, which means so along that 5 plus remaining 2 process also will be available here. But if you want to cross check, you can see the port number 30010 and process ID 2918. 30010 process number is the 2918. Process number is the 2918 here, right? See, it is showing here. So which means both are same. It is coming from the system only, but in the display of the tenant DB, it is showing system DB process along with the your system tenant related core process also it's showing here. Index server and access engine here. Total 7 process are here. Yeah, the total 7 process in the in the entire HANA DB here, right? So entire 7 process in the HANA DB here, right? So so that is the one of the important thing here. Okay, system DB and tenant DB here, right? So here, what exactly this process will do, right? System DB process and tenant DB process here. But total 7, 5 will be in the here, remaining 2 will be in the here, right? In the landscape tab, we can see the all the information here, right? Whether this process are running or not, what is the start time, what is the CPU time, what is the memory time, what is the used memory size, all the information we can see in the landscape tab. In the landscape tab, we can see the all the information here. Okay, that is the one of the important thing here. So here, what is the use of the each and every process here? Use of the each process here. So when you see here, then you can see the information about the index server. What is the use of the index server here, right? Index server is the process. Actually, normally in a home, we have the family. In every family, we have the roles and responsibilities, right? We have the responsibilities of the each and every family here, right? So father, mother, child, kids, how we have the family roles and they have the responsibilities also, right? Father is the main person in home, so he's the backbone. Then he will calculate, he will load the data, all the each and everything he will take care of that parts, right? Here also in the index server, normally we will call it as the father of the database in the index server. So here loading the data into the database level, so all the calculations of the data, right? Inserting the data into the DB level. Loading means inserting only. So then all those things will happen in the index server only. Sir, all the work is done the database level, data will be stored, right? But everything is data storing, loading, calculating, and they have the some calculated engine, query engines, calculated SQL engines, they are OLAP engine, OLTP engines, everything is available in the index server only. Index server is taking care of the all the part. Then what about the other servers, other process means other process will help to the index server to store the data. Other process will help to this is the main process in the database level. All it will perform the all the actions, loading the data, calculating the data, giving the data response, everything will be done by the index server only. Index server is the main process here. Okay, so here then index server is giving the main process here. Then what about the other processor? Same as like father is doing the main work in the home, then what about the other persons will do? So father, mother, child, kids, except father, what other process will do? Other process will help to the father to process the data, right? So similarly, here also the remaining processes will help to the index server to store the data here. Okay. So name server. Name server is the name server. What is the responsibility of the name server means? Name server holds the topology related information. Topology related information. It will hold the topology related information here. Topology related information means what is the host name, what is the port number, right? What is the IP? So this kind of information it will hold it. Kind of information it will hold it here, right? That is the main important term here. Okay. So HANA process. We are discussing about the HANA core process and their usage here, what they are doing in the database level. In our home, or the father is doing, mother is doing same thing. So and similarly, so their roles and responsibilities we are checking here, right? So here, so index server is the main process, is the father of the database. All the data calculations, loading, data insertion, everything will happen in the index server level only here. Then name server will holds the topology related information as and when required, index server required, then name server will pass the information here. Name server will pass the information here. System landscape, metadata, client connections to the right index server. All those things will take care of the index server only. Index server only. It will take care of that, and it will help to index server. Right? That is the main important thing here. Right? Index server is the actual in-memory database engine. It will handle all the transactions, data, column storing the data is the main process of the index server here. Right? Then preprocessor here. What is meant by preprocessor here? Preprocessor means processing the processing the unstructured data. Processing the unstructured data. What is meant by unstructured data? Text data, right? Full text data, text analysis, right? This kind of analysis, text data. Text unstructured data means text, notepad text data, right? So normally database is written into the C++ language, right? So means data is storing means normally it should be in the some query, some structured format. It should be in the structured format, right? So in case of data is coming in without structured format also, it will process the unstructured data. The analysis also it will perform it, a text analysis where the full text functionalities and all the processing capabilities are available. That's why preprocessor will process the unstructured data, will help to index server to store the data. Everything is helping to the index server only here, right? Then next one is the compile server. Compile server here. Compile server. What is the use of the compile server? It's a compilation of programs, stored procedures. Compile server will use the compile server, compile the stored procedures and programs and everything here, and will index server to process the data. Okay, so always both all family members are in sync. Okay, so whatever the responsibility in new programs, if the developer developed in new programs,
Ravi, your voice is breaking again. No, it start breaking.
Now also,
Yeah.
I don't see any network issue from my side.
Now it's okay.
Okay. So compile server. The compile server responsibility is compilation of the programs, stored procedures will help to the index server to store the data. That is the main thing here. Okay. Index server to store the data. So what is meant by compilation of the program means, so if any in the database level, it's not only data. There are some programs, DB related programs and application related programs. It will do the compilation. It will do the compilation of the programs and stored procedures and will help to the index server here. That is the main important thing here. Then web dispatcher here. Web dispatcher. So what is the use of the web dispatcher process here? So web dispatcher will take the will take the web-based request, means browser-based request here, and will hand over to the access engine. So this access engine will process the web-based request and will process the web-based request here. Then daemon is like a, this all are the, here parent is the index server and daemon are the parents, right? He is the father, the daemon is the mother. Remaining all are their sons, childs, and kids. Okay, so they are the kids here. It will help to the index server here. So why I call it as the in a family? Family means father and mother and kids, family members, right? Same as like in the database level also here we have the index server. and daemon and father, mother, and remaining process are available. So father, what is the main responsibility? Father will do the all the calculations, load, burdens, all those things will be done by the father. That's we know, we agree. Everybody, right? The name server, topology related information, right? Topology related information here, right? Topology means it kind of a the host name, port number. So if any process or anything is required, these details, the name server will help to the index server. Preprocessor processing the unstructured data will help to the index server to store the data, right? Compile server, compilation of the programs and stored procedures here, right? Web dispatcher, it will handle the web-based request, will hand over to the access engine here, right? Will take the web-based request here, right? Access engine will process the web-based, access engine will process the web-based. So web-based means browser. Sometimes we will open the means people will connect to the systems through browser also, HANA systems through browser also here. Through browser also they will connect to the HANA system here. See, through host name and port number they will connect to, through browser also they will connect it here. In that case, web dispatcher will help you to pick up the browser request, will hand over to the access engine. Access engine process the user authentication, user ID, password verifications, all those things. The access engine will process the web-based request and everything here, right? That's what it will be done by the this one here, right? That is the main web-based request here. So like that, so web dispatcher access engine coordinately will work, process the web-based request here. Then what is the advantage of the daemon here? Sir, you mentioned like daemon is a mother. So in our home, mother, what is the responsibilities of the mothers, right? So very crucial. In case of any family members are in the sick or sick in the not responding immediately, daemon will go and boost the, will give you the boost, will come back to the active status, right? That is the mother's responsibility. Same as like in the daemon also, any process out of this process, any process in the not responding, not active, not error status here, immediately it will come to the active status here. It will bring to the active status here, which means if I talk about the database level language, daemon will clear the faulty status, faulty status here, which means error status here, will bring back to the active status here, right? In our language, layman language, if we discuss about, daemon is a mummy. And out of this five process, if any process is stopped status or not responding status, immediately daemon will go and bring back the normal status here. That we will call as the, so that we will call as the daemon, right? For example, if we see here, we can see the all the process here, right? All the
Ravi, your
process here.
voice is breaking, Ravi.
Oh, no, no, my net is connected here. So let me disconnect and log in again. So can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
yes, it's better.
Okay. So here you can see the index server, name server, all the process related information. Okay. So daemon will clear the all the faulty related information and everything here, right? Suppose you can see the daemon is the process here. Suppose like here you can see just I'm going to stop the, I'm going to kill the, so the daemon, I'm going to kill the web dispatcher here, right? So I go, I'm just stop the web dispatcher here. So it is stopped status here, right? It's stopping. Mainly it is stopping status here. Immediately the process will come to the active status here. The process will come to the active status here. Then how? Sir, you are only killed. You are only,
You are not sharing the screen, please. Can you?
sorry.
We are not able to see your screen.
No, no, it is visible. Screen is visible.
Visible only.
Okay, maybe I need to rejoin. Thanks, sorry for that.
It's not visible for me as well. Fine, I'll
I'm
have to
sharing
rejoin.
the screen. I'm
Can
sharing
you
the
reshare?
screen to
You're
everyone.
sharing. Yes.
Can you reshare,
Yes.
please?
Let me unshare and share it. So can you see now?
Still, we are
Yes.
able
Now
to
we
see,
No.
can
but
see.
we
Yes,
are not able
yes.
to see.
For us, it is. I can see it, Ravi.
Yeah, we
I
are
can
able to
see.
see. Yeah, we are,
Are
but
we also
it's
okay?
yeah.
Okay. So the basically I'm just informing about the daemon. Daemon is responsible for if any process out of this family member is in the red status or stopped status or error status, immediately daemon will go and will bring back to the active status by giving the boost or bonus, whatever it may be. It will bring back to the active status here. Similarly, example, if you see, I'm going to stop the so web dispatcher here manually, right? It is stopped status now. Okay, it is stopped status now here. So now you are not going to start it, just to stop it here. Now what will happen? Immediately, daemon will go, just will bring back to the active status here. See, immediately it is become active status. Right? Alla 8:56 it is started. It's 10:13. 10:13 it is started here. So everything got so starting here. So how it got created means the daemon is taking care of this part here. Daemon. So in our home, the mother responsibility we know, right? Similarly here also the daemon is like a mother. It will take care of the all the process related statuses, stop it, starting, active status. It will do the all kind of work and everything here. That is the work of the daemon process here. Okay, so this all process in the database level exist. It will keep on running, and whatever the responsibilities of the each and every process is allocated, it will perform the respective process in the system. It will only perform the respective process here. Compile server, daemon, name server, peak processor, web dispatcher, access engine, compile server, it will exist here. That is the one of the process information here. Okay, so daemon, name server, index server, whatever the responsibility will perform that responsibility. You can see the how the process is behaving, how much memory is using here. All the information we can see in the graphs here. So here the mainly index server is the main process here that we know, right? So that we know index server is the main process. Why? Because all the data stores index server only. So that is the reason the usage of the index server is very high compared to the other process. And also, yeah, the tenant databases, every tenant, we have the index server. That's why applications will always point to the tenant database only. Applications will always point to the tenant database only. So that every application will connect to the tenant databases. So each tenant has the index server, it will store the data. Sir, everything is in the tenant databases. What is the use of the system DB here? Right? What is the use of the system DB? System DB is the owner, how the in the ground floor, first floor, second floor in apartment, how the owners will stay in the ground floor, then how the owners will manage the all the tenants. Similarly, system DB is the owner, it will manage the all the tenants. If we want to stop the tenants, we have to use the system DB only via system DB. If we want to take the backup, if we want to delete, if we want to stop all those things. But actual data resides inside of the tenant DB. Why? Because every tenant we have the index server, all the information will be saved into the tenant database only here. Okay, all the information will be in the tenant only. This will take care of the major here. That's why why we need multiple tenants means one application, one tenant database. BW, one tenant database. CRM, one tenant. SRM, one tenant. Like that, one host, multiple tenants, multiple applications can point to the multiple tenant databases as well here. That's why HANA is like a multi-container database, which means multiple tenants we can connect, we can create it here. By default, you will get the G+1, right? On system DB, one tenant DB, you will get it out here. This is the here, right? If you go to the alerts tab here, we can see the errors related information here. Errors related information, we can see it here. Are there any critical alerts in the database level? Are there any critical alerts in the database level here? So errors, you can see the last 15 minutes, what is that? Oh, you restarted the web dispatchers, right? That information also detected here when you done the restart and high priority alerts, right? Last 30 minutes also 2 times. In 1 hour, you done the 2 times, you done the restarts, right? So last 2 hours, nothing, right? So you can see all the errors related information here, all the errors related information here. So web dispatcher has been restarted at so 14, 22, 1, something like that. One is the this way, one is this one, you done the restarts here, right? So that information, sir, every time I cannot come and see the errors and the logs, right? Then what can I do here? Then you can configure the email ID. Configure your email ID. Suppose like no reply at the rate of hana.com, something like that. Then SMTP server. So every company there is a SMTP server here, smtp.gmail.com here, smtp.gmail.com here. Then you can see the modify the recipients details, whatever the your group company group email ID, that group email ID you can add it here, right? You can add it here, recipients list. Then click on the OK button. Then what will happen? Now one watch. If any error, any issue got generated here, immediately you will get the email ID. Immediately you will get the email ID to the your recipient's mailbox here. What recipient's mailbox, you will get the email ID here. That is the main important thing here. Right? Any error are generated, you will receive the email from SAP HANA system saying that your web dispatcher is restarted, your memory utilization is very low, HANA index server is down, name server is down, HANA backup is not running. Whatever the errors we generated, everything will be reported to your mailbox here. Why? Because always we cannot come daily 1 or 2 times. We can go ahead and we can see the status of the HANA process. Everything is okay. Okay, all are green status, that is fine. We can go to the landscape, everything is active and fine. Index memory utilization also fine. Then we go here and we'll check. That is the 1 or 2 times during the monitoring time we will come and we'll see. But daily basis, but when you are not monitoring, when you are not active, so that time if something is happens, then who can check it out, right? You should receive the email that time, so you can configure the email configurations here. Email configuration, memory, CPU, disk, so all the information as per the thresholds, you will get the emails to the your mailboxes here. Email to the your mailboxes here. That is the main important thing here. Okay, so next one is the performance tab here, right? Performance tab, right? So will you guys practice? Shall I explain the remaining also? First 3 tabs.
Yeah, let us practice this. Ravi, one thing just wanted to know that first you said the system DB and tenant database will create by default. If we need to add another more tenant database, how will we going to do that?
Yeah, we are going to discuss that one. We need to use the SQL queries to create the new tenants and everything. SQL query, just query we have to execute SQL query. So create database name, what is the database name, and system user password. Those things we are just execute the query. No need to download the software and install it. Just query SQL query to it will add the new database. That is also in our scope. We are going to discuss those things also.
What is the master it is showing in the name
Master
server?
means, yeah, okay. In a home, one person is master, right? So in the we have the 2 databases. In the 2 databases, so here the system DB name server is the master, means leader. In the tenancy database, index server is the master, especially master primary, right? This is the master role. Master means main process here. In the system DB, name server is the master role here. Master.
So let's take, we have 3 tenant DBs along with the system DB. So how many processor we are going to see?
So each tenant we have the index server, index server, index server, access engine, access engine, access engine. But
So
remaining
the
process are
core,
common. 5 process plus
the core
plus
processor
2
are not
plus
going to
2
be.
plus 2.
The core processor are going to be the same, but whenever a tenant DB is provisioned and the additional two process will come in, right?
Right. Each tenant we have the index server and access engine.
Okay.
Remaining 5 are same. Compile server, daemon, name server, preprocessor, web dispatcher is common. But remaining 5 are the will be the different. So remaining 2 will be created in the each tenant.
And this
How
processor writing. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
how do you differentiate, Ravi, for tenant database? You are saying that all will be different. How do you
How will we
differentiate?
differentiate means wherever the index server is running, that is the tenant database. Wherever the index server is not running, that is the tenant data. That is the system database. Simple differentiation.
Okay.
How will you differentiate this is the ASCS instance, this is the application server instance. Wherever the message server, in server is running, that is the AS instance. Remaining all are the application servers.
Right,
Right.
right.
Similarly here, so wherever you have the daemon, compile server, other way around. Compile server, daemon, name server, preprocessor running, that we will call it as the system DB. So remaining process, wherever the index server is there, that is the tenant. Simple.
So when a CRM application is installed or maybe provision on this one of the tenant DB, and any new processor will come, or only the data is created in schemas.
Tenant is index server is the it will connect to the tenant database. In the tenant index server, it will any application will primarily will connect to the index server only. Okay. So sometimes sometimes some applications it's required the more process, maybe statistic server for calculation purpose and everything. So sometimes it's required the statistic server. That time calculation server. Some applications it's required the DP server, data provisioning server. That is the additional process. Some applications require the different. It will request the different. It will create it during the installation. But the HANA core processor, these are the core will be created by default. Core will be created by default. So this core process will be created by default here. Every database, every SID, every database, this core will be created. After that, suppose like S4 HANA, the latest version you are installing on top of this HANA database. Then sometimes the S4 HANA required some statistic server is required for calculations and statistics purpose. That time it will automatically provision the statistic server also. Sometimes you may require the DP agent, data provisioning server, to get the data from the other databases. At that time, you require the DP server, you need to add it. So that time, so you have to add it, but core will be the core. These are the HANA core process. Remaining are the additional services. That is depends upon the application are required. Sometimes for all the databases, you will see same thing only. So we have the many applications, but every application we have the same common databases. It will use it common process we have. So sometimes S4 HANA, statistic server, DP server, some other, that is depends upon the request usage. So people will additionally add the new process, they will add it here. But these are the core HANA core process here. Okay. So just to add to the system details into your studio, just check what's happening in the studio, landscape tab, process key information, error logs and everything. Then tomorrow, this is very important tab, process performance tab, volume tab. These all are the some important tasks here. So we'll see one by one, one by one. Okay. Okay. So that's it for today, guys. So please practice it and help to the new members, whoever not done the installation part, help to the done. So they can also be the up to